Well, hello there, Apple Bites. This is your Apple Bite Raphael Tavares talking to you. From our I changed your phone. Well, lost it there for a minute. Straight from our show here, the Apple Bites. Of course, the not ready for primetime players today are Mr. Nathan Boo himself.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean not ready for prime time? I've been here the most readiest for everything. Why is my introductions always like the exact opposite of what it should be, man?
Man, you're showing your age, brother. You're showing your age.
Do you know how many people didn't even know I was a part of the Bit and Apple this weekend?
Dude, man, that's why I always introduce you as not the intern.
No, now it wasn't even like, oh, is that the intern? No, now I actually had people come up to me and be like, "Are you with Ben Apple? Are you new?"
The funny thing is that they've seen you long enough to not for that not to be an issue.
Lou is my witness.
So, speaking of which, how was Cradle Con?
The day I went, it was all right. There were a lot of people we knew, a lot of good friends. As I'm sure you guys have seen in parts of the trailers, but we knew a good chunk of almost everyone who ended up going. Had a lot of fun. We made a bunch of laughs.
It looked like a blast. The pictures just like speak to volumes about, the amount of fun that was there to have.
Oh well, the most fun part was that our good friend Lucky Zilla.
Uh-oh.
It took him forever to take down his booth.
Wait, what?
Those of you who were there would know.
Oh no. Was you and Tony just playing the game the whole time?
Oh no. I mean, like, okay, so con hours are over. He has to take down his booth. We were there for at least over an hour after.
Okay, why did it wait? He wasn't gonna be there Sunday?
No.
That's so weird. Okay.
He had some other engagements.
Oh, so. There we go. I was gonna say, why is he taking down his booth?
So it was a good chunk of us just poking at him like, you're not ready to go yet?
Oh my god. It's too funny. Well, you know how it is. Pulling down those booths is not as simple as all that, though. Not at all. We've done it before.
Yeah, but we've done huge booths, man.
Oh yeah.
We've done the huge booths. We haven't taken down small booths. We've done like the big corporate booths.
A couple of them already, yeah. Well, we gotta earn the way into these cons somehow.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So
but
today,
yeah, it was fun to see a bunch of friends. By the way, our friend from Game of Tunes, I know you're watching. You should be doing your work. By the way, how's work going? You should be doing your work.
Well, he was enjoying when we were going back and forth about the whole Game of Tunes and who we were voting for, who we were voting against. That was just a blast. It was so much fun. I can't wait till he does the next one.
Yeah. There may or may not be some names thrown in, but I know nothing.
I had a feeling you guys would throw some names over there while you had a chance. I know
absolutely
you had his ear.
Nothing. No, I threw different names. I threw names for other things.
Oh man! So, as an added feature today, we have our special co-host, Dr. Christina Garlick.
Hello.
Doctor.
Yeah.
Doctor.
As of Saturday.
Congratulations again. Happy graduation.
Thank you.
It's so much fun to have you on, especially because I tend to talk to you through a lot of back and forth and messages and messengers.
Yeah, it's always at like weird hours. It'll be like 2:00 in the morning.
That sounds about me.
And then at like 7 in the morning. It's just like these random hours. We'll continue the same conversation for like 5 days.
Oh, definitely.
And I love it just because it's continuous.
I figure if you're gonna do it, I'm gonna do it too, and it's the way I think, anyways.
Yeah, me too. I'll go on and on. I have a problem. I don't like to shut up.
Well, I feel it's probably a writer's thing too, because it's just I'm wondering if it's just the way we situate things.
I think so. My books though are kind of different though. I try to figure out how to say something with the least amount of words, and that actually gets a lot of people confused. They're like, "You're a writer. You're supposed to write 10 pages about what Fort Ticonderoga or whatever it looks like, or like I don't know, the Statue of Liberty or whatever." But I don't really give a lot of detail. I let people use their imagination.
I've been in the same boat. I don't understand this whole concept of explaining every silly detail about your character, your world, your books. I'm like, use your imagination, guys. Come on. I'm going to explain to you what's going on. You figure out the rest of it.
Yeah. I think too many people are obsessed with image and identity and all those things, which, it serves a purpose. Like you can identify certain things, but you want it to be creative. You want people to say, I saw myself in this character for X, Y, and Z reasons.
Right. Oh, man. So Kamala says congratulations as well. And she was also saying that best form of writing, I want to use my imagination.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah, but I don't know. People always get upset. They're like, oh, why don't you describe this and then that? Well, you already knew about it, so why do I got to describe it?
And well, I also write in kind of like a unique format. It's the diary play format, so it's you either love it or hate it. And I find that a lot of teenagers, 20-something-year-olds like that style. The more traditional writers are kind of a little bit more averse to it, but not to say always. I like to warn people and then say, hey, it's a great story. Just give it a chance. And a lot of times, if you actually read my books, you'll fall in love with them.
Can you describe what exactly that style is?
Yeah, so diary play format is basically you're taking a play. You know how they have the dialogue, it's the name and the dialogue. And then you'll see the diary part is basically like you have the one narrator just talking about like her internal monologue. And you kind of go back and forth between the diary part and the play part. So with plays, the problem is a lot of times you don't really get that more like in-depth look at the character. I feel like in writing, at least, it's more flat. Obviously in TVs and movies, you can convey emotions with, facial expressions, movement. But in books, it's a little bit harder. So you get kind of both the best of both worlds, kind of.
So is it more of like a more descriptive playwright then?
Yeah, I guess you would say it's more descriptive playwright. It kind of adds, like, you take William Shakespeare, for example. His stuff's great. I mean, obviously he's a lot better than me, but you add another layer to the play style. And I think it's kind of fun and quirky. And it's easy to read. It's not something where you have to read a sentence 12 times to get it. You can read it once, get through it on a Sunday afternoon. It's just fun, escapism. There's no politics in it. You can left, right. You can enjoy my books. It's just a fun story.
Kadma says, not better, just a different style.
Exactly. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. And it's so funny that you have gone from being our friendly author to now you're helping set up this Arts in the Park thing that we're getting ready for on Saturday. How did this happen to be? Because you came up to me in the comments going, Ralph, I'm doing this. You guys want to be there? I'm like, sure, no problem. Just let me know.
Well, I've sold my books out of a lot of the festivals like Awesome Con, Keystone Comic Con, and like I see what people do great at these events and I see what they do bad. And I've also been to a lot of smaller events in towns. And I'm like, I wonder if I can do an event better than what everybody else can do. So it's kind of, I guess it's a little bit of like an ego thing, but I also want to provide entertainment for the community as well. That's free. With the price of food rising and gas and everything, I wanted something that people could just go to and have a good time. And I ended up getting over 90 vendors to attend the event.
Yeah, I saw the list.
Yeah. 40 artists, 7 food trucks, a beer tent, entertainment throughout the day, archery tag, crafts for the kids. Everything is free except for obviously what you buy. So like, foods, stuff, gifts, and everything's like, you're supporting local businesses, which were especially hurt during COVID.
Definitely.
So I think that's like another layer there that's great.
It's an amazing little project. I like it. I like the idea that you have all these vendors coming in. Dude, the amount of authors you have, I was surprised. I was like, oh, this is almost like a small little book fair.
Yeah, I probably could have gotten a few more, but I didn't want to take away from the authors that were there because they're all really great. JR, I've known him for years. He writes kind of a political, commentary books, like fiction. It's kind of quirky. And then you have, I'm trying to think who else is there. I should know them off the top of my head, but because I have so many vendors, it's like.
I was going to say, if you knew them from the top of your head, I was going to give you another kudos point.
Ross Lee, she does romance. Obviously that's not going to appeal to everyone, but the crowd that it does, it's phenomenal writing. I've actually read one of her books. I like to read those from time to time. We have a filmmaker there, Ryan Bryan, which is a great name. And he's going to be talking about how he got into the film industry, how he makes kind of short movies. And he's local to the area of Randolph, New Jersey, which is great. Because, again, supporting local.
Exactly. I think that's what the good thing is, because I've seen a couple of these seen a couple of these library cons, and I feel like those are fantastic because it's doing the same thing exactly you're doing here with the Arts in the Park. You're seeing a more local feel to the convention system.
I've done a few of the library events, and they're a lot of fun. The people are always nice, and obviously at a library, you're going to have a lot of people that like to read. It's like a niche market. You got a built-in audience. It's a little bit harder when you do say like a Barnes and Noble event, because those people usually, I'm not always, I shouldn't stereotype it, but a lot of times they want to go for the best sellers when they go into Barnes and Noble, and it's a little bit harder to get an indie author to get their attention.
True. Definitely true.
Okay.
But it's the thing we need to do is the thing, we keep talking about as a general audience, we the world, how we're tired of Hollywood, yet we keep supporting the same stuff over and over and over instead of looking at these new up and coming independent writers, independent artists, there's other stuff out there, and I feel like the general market stays over here. You know what I'm saying?
You support Hollywood? You support Hollywood, Ralph? I can't believe you.
I didn't say that.
I can't believe you. Have you never heard of pirating?
I mean, I love superheroes. I grew up on Marvel, so it kills me to it's supporting this big company. So, but I go see their movies because I enjoy Doctor Strange. I enjoy Spider-Man, but at the same time, a lot of it is being rebooted. It's like, how many Spider-Man movies can they make? They're like on what? Let's see, 1, 2, 3. They've been like 8 of them so far. So, but I would love to see like more indie people get their movies made. But I think the studios know they're guaranteed to make money on this product versus the other one.
That's exactly what it is. It's the whole concept of, we know we can make money with this. And I'm like, yeah, but come on. It's also the whole concept of, they're talking about seeing more heroes of color, seeing more. And I'm like, yeah, we create new heroes and we showcase those guys. Don't change the heroes we have and turn them into something else. Because I feel like that's kind of lazy.
It is. And I think it does a disservice to new characters. I mean, there's in the Marvel's, cinematic universe, there are so many great, characters of color. Voodoo is one of my favorites, and you won't see him in there. He would have been a great movie character. He could do a horror thing. But they take these characters and they just keep recycling them. And I think it kind of cheapens the character and what they stood for. You can have these great characters, but don't shoehorn something in that shouldn't be there.
And I feel like that's the direction they keep going. Again, it's the whole no stuff. This we can make money with this. So if we shoehorn it over here, we can make more money with it.
I know. I mean, like Falcon was great on his own. Why did he have to become Captain America? I mean,
because that's what they did in the comics.
Oh, they did do it in the comics.
They did do it for a brief. They did it for a while, then he went back. And I get that they did it in the comics, but he was great as Falcon. It was an original character. Like he was his own identity, and I think he lost the part of himself, becoming someone else.
I agree. I feel like the Falcon is his own original character. He's been around for a long time. The Falcon, is a pretty old character, actually.
I don't actually see the Falcon as like his own, though. I see the Falcon as more of a recreation of Thunderbird.
Oh no, Falcon's actually older than that. Falcon's been around for a long
like the role that he ends up taking on feels more like what Thunderbird at one point had.
Well, like the reason that Falcon is in that whole Captain America thing is because Falcon was a supporting character for Captain America from like the 60s. So, that's why, and the character itself has been around for a long time. It's the same thing with a lot of the Marvel characters. There's a lot of characters that are of different places, of different things that have been around for a long time. And they just don't pay attention to or pretty much ignore unless they want to do a new reboot or a new change of things around. And that's when they bring them all out. Like Brother Voodoo, great character. I'm surprised they haven't put him in. And he was also Sorcerer Supreme for a while.
I didn't know that, but like I found out that Clea, I didn't know about her, but she was like a long time ago. I think she was in there from like the 60s, 70s as well.
She's another character that's been around for a long time. I remember reading when I was a kid about Clea and Doctor Strange and and how they had this whole love thing going on. And it was interesting to see that they made her the new Sorcerer Supreme recently. And I was like, okay, this is interesting.
That's
an interesting progression because she's been in the book that long.
Yeah, she disappeared for a while.
Even with Falcon, it's interesting progression because it's kind of like Robin becoming Batman because that's how, But at the same time, it does lessen the Falcon character. So, and I like Robin better as Nightwing.
I do too. I watched Injustice yesterday, the cartoon from 2021.
I think Injustice is fantastic. It's an interesting take on the DC universe. And it's a great fighting game.
Yeah, I haven't played the game, though. I've just seen clips online.
So the good news is that Christina's going to join us on Wednesday for the Written Writ, as well as a guest host. And we're going to keep talking about Arts in the Park because it is this Saturday coming up. And at the same time, we're going to be talking to creator of Project Gnosis, who's going to be joining us on Wednesday to talk more stuff, Arts in the Park, his new book. I think he has the Kickstarter. So it should be interesting. With that, let's move over to our guest, Mr. Ben Goldsmith.
Well, howdy.
And of course, we love the Seance Room. And I have to say that you took me completely by surprise when you announced you were doing a Kickstarter for the Seance Room.
Yeah, well, people often call me the Beyonce of comic books, so I just dropped it and let the world quake, much like her albums. Hey, real quick, just some business up top. You guys are nerds, and I appreciate that about you. I was listening to all that, and then just like the minute you're like Brother Voodoo, and I was like, yeah, that's right. Also, here's my other thought on this. And first and foremost, if anyone doesn't go to Arts in the Park, you're nuts. You're nuts. There's too many good things in the world that people aren't going to go to.
Exactly.
That. Don't be nuts. And then lastly, and then we can talk about everything and everything else. Raph, have you just real quick for me? Can you say? With Allstate, you're in good hands.
With Allstate, you're in good hands.
Yep, it's dead on. Dead on, man.
Oh my gosh, you do that wonderful.
Dead on. As I'm listening to this, going, he sounds exactly.
Dude, I had fun doing the promo for the Seance Room. I'm like, welcome to the Seance Room.
I saw that. Thank you, man. I saw that was great. That was great, dude.
You really need to like narrate a book.
Oh, I feel like that's my next step into this whole thing. It's just the Captain's been trying to get me to just narrate or do a couple of books of myself. I'm like, I guess we'll see what happens. Speaking of Kadma, there she goes. She says hi to you, Ben.
Hello.
No, that's me. That's me. What are you talking about, Ralph? That's me.
She's saying hi to you.
What's my name, Ralph?
Oh no, you're BU, not BOO.
It's still the same thing.
Oh,
it's still the same thing.
Names, yeah, speaking of names, could you address me by my proper name, as you can read on the bottom there?
Yes,
of course,
Benny,
Boo,
Benny, Frank, Funeni.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. But yeah, so thank you for having me on. We got a Kickstarter going right now. Let's just get it out of the way. Let's knock it out.
Highlight it, Ralph.
Say what?
No, I don't want to.
My fiance is doing the dishes right now.
You know, like we were saying earlier, your stuff is a lot like Tales of the Crypt, and I just feel like that's so cool because you don't really get that kind of stuff nowadays.
Thanks. I wanted it to be, well, you know, it was you and I earlier before when we were talking, you know.
Yeah.
You guys were talking in the green room. Go ahead.
We, by the way, the coup d'etat is amazing in the green room. We were just chatting kind of about, you know, in general sales things, which if you go to a lot of conventions and you know you get to, and part of the Tales from the Crypt thing and the Twilight Zone thing was, well, they're one shot, so each issue is a standalone. So if I sell out of issue number 1, no, it doesn't matter because issue number 2 is just as viable. So not only is it something that I love, but it also started kind of from a sales perspective too. So funny enough, we were thinking about that real early on in the whole process. And yeah, I mean, to me, Twilight Zone is like the torchbearer of quality and of progressive storytelling and of the twist, right? So as much as you can, you try to emulate the things you like. You take things you like and so without legally being responsible for stealing and pilfering. And so yeah, that's kind of what we did there. The Kickstarter, yeah, we drew. Well, here's something fun. I was telling you guys a little bit. It was supposed to start next month, and I accidentally pressed launch. So it exists now. It's all ready. Everything was there. I was just gonna do a little more work before it started, and I did.
Well, instead of starting now, you probably would have started in June sometime.
It's okay. It happens. I think every author's done that at some point. They've launched something that they're not supposed to.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, but again, for future reference, when people ask, it's like, no, he just surprised it on us on a Sunday. Like, what a maven of the comics industry. So you know that's how that story will be rewritten.
It's like I was telling you in the green room, dude. I was like, and I saw the post pop up, and I was like, what the? I'm not ready for this.
Yeah, you and me both. You and me both. I was, yeah, for sure.
I was like, share.
You know, luckily I had already. This is a thing where it's a balancing act, right? So all right, so everyone who's watching this right now, the Kickstarter is running. It's running right now. We're trying to hit $10,000, and literally, I'm not even $1 more. It's all going to the artists. I will see $0. All of it is going to the artist. Now, it's the delicate wire act, right? Because then I have to, like the 4 artists who are doing the book, we got Ben Templesmith first and foremost. Like, whoa, that guy created 30 Days of Night,
Wow.
Got Them After Midnight, Gentleman Wormwood, and he's doing an issue of Seance Room for me. That's nuts. The good kind of nuts, not the bad kind if you don't go to Arts in the Park. And then Tim Seeley agreed to let me do a / crossover. So / the book, / Vampirilla, / Army of Darkness, / Kiss. Like, he's letting me do / Seance Room. So those 2 things alone are a part of this Kickstarter. And again, none of the money that I'll be raising is going to me. It's all going to the artists. So I had to line all those guys up, make sure everything was all good. We're all on track. The art's already well underway on all 4 issues. But I you know, I kind of needed to pay these guys, and instead of just doing it completely out of pocket and then eating ramen for the next decade of my life, I wanted to see if we could, you know, get the fans going, because I mean, I've been on the road with Seance Room for 5 years now.
Yeah.
You know, and people dig it. You know, and I was like, well, you know, guys, come on, let's get this going. Let's do it all 4, all at once.
That's how we first met you. You know, we ran into you at Garden State Comic Fest, and it was you and Casey, and you guys had both books there, and they're both kind of supernatural.
Yeah,
and it's right up my alley. It's right up Adam's alley, and we're like, dude, we got to cover this.
I know, you guys were great. And I remember you were the one of our first interviews to do for the book too, which we've done many more. I mean, but you know, you guys obviously have been, I mean, in particular, so unbelievably supportive, to the point where if after this you guys are like, Goldsmith, look, or I'm sorry, Benny Banana Fan Fofenny Me by Modi, we want nothing to do with you ever again. We've already done everything we could for you. I'd be like, I get it. I'll be like, you did.
Oh man. Ultra Cartoonist is asking me if me and Chantal are still writing comics. Actually, we still are, and there's things in the planning that I can't even talk about.
Ooh.
So
does
Not
it
even a
involve
little
killing
teaser?
a corgi? Does
well,
it
I always
involve
do a
killing a
little teaser.
corgi?
My book is easy to tease because it's my superhero teddy bear, Hug Bear.
Oh,
Okay.
You know, and I'm writing my superhero teddy bear, and I'm working on them, and the artist and all the stuff is coming together. But as we know, there's behind the scenes stuff that has to happen before the book happens. So that's where I am right now. This is, of course, from Shadow Rabbit, who makes your dreams realities. You know, always love getting a good Shadow Rabbit commission.
I think like a cool Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing would be kind of cool with that teddy bear.
That'd be interesting. Nobody will see that coming.
I just think an evil teddy bear is always creepy.
Well, the funny thing is that there's an evil teddy bear in the story, so.
All right.
Asked and received.
But Ralph, what about killing the corgi?
Oh, that's the other story. Of course,
You need to kill the corgi.
We've been working on this let's write a story together thing back here. And I had the audience throw things at me, and of course they threw a corgi, a sentient
The corgi was the meme
person. They threw it in as a joke, and then the audience ran with it, and now I have to create this corgi person thingy who's working in this fantastical setting back here. And my favorite one is that they got me having a fairy detective and a sentient space possum. Yeah.
Wait. Say that slower.
Sentient space possum.
Okay, I promise I'm not writing this down to steal it.
There's also a giant mecha, a starship floating above the planet. The planet is looking to consume all life forms on the planet. The planet is consistent of solely cat women, and there's a spaceship filled with pirate cat women, along with a rogue cat woman who's tied up with an older lady who's a freakishly, basically necromancer of cats.
Exactly.
It's
Not
like
to
an
mention
else.
there is a trophy of a homeless man that teleports you to different locations in multi-dimensional space.
I mean, guys, that's so tried already. There's like 100 comics.
Dude, they threw all this stuff at me, and I've been sitting there going, how do I put all this stuff together?
You just watch anime and then you tie it together.
Corgi, Cat Planet, Old Man Teleporter comic I've read.
No,
I mean,
it's all in the manga. You haven't read the manga?
But I love doing this stuff because it's such a great writing, and it gave me like a huge writing motivation exercise. I'm in the middle of the story now, and I'm gonna have it soon enough to share with you guys. So let's see what happens.
I'll just tell you this, Ralph. At Cradle, we were taking bets as to how long it will take to kill the corgi.
Oh.
That means I got to make that Corgi really lovable, so when he does die, they can come after you guys.
No, we're gonna celebrate. We're gonna celebrate.
You could do a seance to bring it back.
There you go. We'll use the seance room.
Exactly. Tie it in.
So let me play the video here because it'll probably help explain some things. Hopefully my computer will play along with me. Here we go.
Hello, readers. It's been a long time since I last saw you for Seance Room, but we're back. We have 4 new issues coming out. One of them is a crossover between Hackslash and Seance Room. That's right. Hackslash from Tim Seeley is going to be meeting Harry Weiss in the Seance Room. We also have an issue done by Ben Goldsmith, incredible world-famous artist of 30 Days of Night, Alex Cormack of Sink, Road of Bones, and Drew Roush of My Blackstone Match. Now, we're asking for your help. We want to get these all 4 made and get them out the door to you. So if you can, donate. All of the prizes below could be yours, including a night of haunted magic and wax museums with me in Salem, Massachusetts. So please, join me once again in the Seance Room.
I think that was a pretty good explanation of your story.
I think Ralph is lost.
Uh-oh. I guess we...
Benny, what did you do? Oh no, now it's just you two. So,
Oh, right.
Thoughts? Thoughts?
I guess the Seance Room got them. Yeah, actually, I just, before we went live, I backed his Kickstarter because I'm like, this seems like a really great project. I did the digital thing with all 8 comics because I need to read them all. Like the Seance Room is a place beyond time and space that exists inside of a castle owned by an eccentric ghost monger. 6 ghosts have been trapped there, each with their own expertise of the expired. Do you dare tempt fate and enter the Seance Room? I'm not very good at reading stuff from a script, but
don't worry, you
kind of get the point.
You're fine.
Yeah, you're doing great. Don't worry. I've been listening to you the whole time. I don't know what happened to Ben.
He said he couldn't hear it, so maybe he's like restarting his computer, maybe.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, yeah, I did. I couldn't hear anything. I just came back in. Are we good now?
Yeah, you sound much better.
We were wondering, what's your favorite type of cheese snack?
Oh my God! Well, thought you'd never ask. Cheez-It Crisps with the groove.
Actually, Christina was doing a good job at helping you out, explaining your book.
Oh, good. Well, she can do that. I'll see you guys later.
Oh no.
And it looks like Cam was trying to get me to do the same thing, but we all know I love the Seance Room. It's a great supernatural story. I love supernatural stuff. All my writing tends to have a supernatural twist to it, or a very fantasy type thing. It's just the way I like writing. So,
yeah, Ralph, I'm gonna challenge you to not do either of those.
I've done that before.
I'm gonna challenge you to not do either of those.
I've done
because you always go into it one way or another, and I challenge you not.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna have to pull out the stories I wrote that have nothing to do with those.
It will be my dinner with Andre, but like your version, just 2 guys sitting and talking.
Write a modern version of Seinfeld.
I'm not a huge Seinfeld fan, so.
The book that I'm working on now is not science fiction or fantasy. It's actually just fiction. I'm hoping to have it out later this year. It's called How to Be an Adult Junior Ranger. And it's like an adult road trip kind of thing, and to the national parks. So I find it's harder to write fiction than fantasy. What do you guys think?
Yeah. I do really like it just depends on the it's so funny, right? It's like anyone could you can make anything interesting. You can make, filling up a water bottle interesting, but it's the intention is everything, right? I feel like the horror and the sci-fi stuff, the intention's already kind of there. We're already tuned in to this idea that we're open, right? Our suspension of disbelief is a lot easier let go with sci-fi and horror, but it's the real life stuff. You've got a lot more to compare it to. You're like, well, I know I live a life. I'm alive. So it's I think, that's the tricky part is you're getting a lot of people's bias already built in.
Do you find with your books that you take inspiration from real life?
Mm-hmm.
Not really.
No.
I'll be honest with me, not really.
It's such a great question, right? Because are you trying to escape your life, so you write, or do you find things in your life interesting and you want to explore them? There's and both very viable, but yeah, totally. That's a great question there. How about you? Are you escaping or are you exploring?
I think it's a little bit of both for me. And also working out problems. Like if something got me really mad, I can kind of like work it out in the book and say the stuff that I would have said to that person if I had the guts or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same thing here. A lot of my stuff has a lot of my life in it. I always tell people the same thing. Find what it is if you remember what it is. Because all that stuff is in there. A lot of my characters have to do with people that I know, and I probably shouldn't be saying this because people are going to be like, oh, so that's what you think of me. I'm like, that's not you.
I mean, I put you in a book.
I put me in the book too. I do it all the time, actually.
Yeah.
I get entertained by myself, but that's a whole other thing.
I'm going to put all of you in the next issue of Seance Room now.
I love it.
Are you gonna? Oh, you're gonna have me be the ghost who dies by a peanut allergy, aren't you?
No, I'm going to have you be the person who gets shitty intros all the time.
Whoa.
Both are still true.
I was listening.
Both are still true. Both are still valid.
Nothing wrong with the shitty intro. It just means that the expectations are low and you can like overcome them.
See, you say I should overcome them, but usually it ends up flattening a lot out. Okay, I'm usually like just the padding and then the side character that just gets killed right away.
Well, then
like
you're the red shirt.
Oh, your red shirt. Well, I think then you just justified the intros. So, hey, you guys, can I show you guys the true inspiration for everything? Look at, there she is, right there.
Aww.
Oh, your boobs.
Wait, there was a third hand.
Oh yeah, that's just my fiance. Don't worry about her. She's not an inspiration for anything.
Oh, see, we could have.
I thought she was doing dishes.
She says hi.
Hello.
Yeah, no, but thank you guys for talking about it while I was gone. I hope that everyone who's watching, again, thank you. Please donate. You're not donating. You're getting stuff. Go buy things. It's not a donate. You're going to get things, great things. We actually, Christina, to your point, earlier you were saying that I just want to make sure Christine. Wait, did I say I did. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you said Christina.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. That's one of those names. It's like Caitlin, Catherine, Christina. Where you're like, oh no, I knew it, but like I don't want to get the wrong one.
You're forgetting Krista.
I get so many different things. Even my last name, they're like Garlick.
Yep.
What is it? I just give up nowadays. I'm like, I'll respond to most things.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly.
They've broken me.
That's how I am with my name. So don't worry.
Dude, I got an easy name, and people keep calling me things, and I'm like.
That's why I went and got a doctorate, just so people can call me Doc. It's easy.
There you go, man. That's always a great one. Hey, Doc.
Well, with the new Warner Brothers game coming out, what's up, Doc?
There's a new Warner Brothers game coming out.
Yeah,
It's a fighting game. It looks fantastic.
Because of the whole. Do you remember Ultra Instinct Shaggy? And how he was supposed to be brought into Mortal Kombat.
Shaggy in Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're for a while because Shaggy can go Ultra Instinct like in Dragon Ball. And so at some point they were like, we're not gonna add him into Mortal Kombat. We're gonna make a brand new game just for Ultra Instinct Shaggy. And so now we have the Warner Brothers Multiverse.
Yeah, they'll check it out. It'll be like DC Black Label. They'll get everyone excited.
It already has a trailer. And
really?
And it's slated for alpha next week.
So what is it, like the Looney Tunes versus Scooby-Doo?
No, every Warner Brothers property is just a fighting game character now.
That's what's up. I want to take Yakko and just wreck.
He's in there.
I'd be Velma then.
Yeah,
she's in there too.
Yeah,
I just feel like she has such suppressed rage underneath her.
I completely agree.
You got the whole cast of Steven Universe. You got most of DC in there. Oh, he's gonna do this, Ralph. We're gonna get flagged. We're gonna get flagged.
Hold on.
We're gonna get flagged.
Probably. Here we go.
This is blatant copyright ripoff.
Strange energy signature detected.
Computer, what's my location? Computer.
Hey, dude, what's going on here?
Where am I? What's up, Doug?
Look out!
Hey!
Whoa! What'd I do to you?
No cool.
Whoa! You all right? Wow, I was messed up how that thing tornadoed you.
You are the cutest little guy. I'm calling you Slobber because you look like your name might be Slobber. You're gonna pay for attacking Slobber. Look out below!
I don't know what's happening here, but this looks like a job for All right, then. You're with me.
So it's like Smash Brothers a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Same concept. But it was just fantastic, man. We saw the trailer earlier today, and I was like, wow.
I mean, I'd play it.
Yeah,
So
they can make it work.
I don't like fighting games.
Yeah, I love all the. I play. You said Injustice earlier. I played Injustice and Mortal Kombat 11. All like those are my jam. I love those. So if they can make it happen, I'm game. Although they just tried to do that with Nickelodeon properties, and it's just like it's always clearly a cash grab. They're not putting the effort into the button combinations or the game feel. It's just like throw the properties at the wall and see what sticks. So
listen, Q Neutron is finally in Nicktoons All Stars. We are happy. That's what we wanted from the beginning.
I mean, they do it with Disney too. They have like all the characters. Like, was it like the Disney Arena game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
like you said.
And I do feel like at least Nintendo does it right, because their game is fantastic.
That's
it's
because
a great
Sakurai
play.
slaves over it.
Yeah, they slave over it. We got Jordan saying, Ben, we will get Seance Room funded. That's a promise.
That
Catalyst
this is my
sharing
promise.
some of her writing here. I write to share with others with similar stories. The fantasy stuff is me escaping and pretending I can throw a fireball. That's Cadma.
Where's the? Have you ever like had to like pull over to write? Like where's the weirdest place that you found yourself writing for your story?
For me, or is that the general?
Yeah.
Here, everyone else answer, because I have to plug my phone in because
what do we define as weird?
Well, don't worry, Ben. I'll stall for some time here and say that I get that all the time. Well, I'll be in the weirdest places and I have to figure out how to get the writing done. Especially now, it's easier because you got the phone and you just have to boop, 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 boop. But it's always tough when you're in the shower.
Yeah.
And you got to jump out and go. And then you get the paper.
Shower's a weird pace to write.
Well, like I've been at a restaurant and not had like before I had a cell phone, and I would write on napkins.
Napkins, yeah.
And I'd have to like make sure they don't get wet, and I would stick them in my pocket and have to get it home and try to read my napkin writing. And
hope you didn't forget about it in your pocket.
Yeah,
these are weird.
I mean, like I don't know. I've written on my arm before, even it's just
I've
like
written on my hand.
I guess maybe it's a better question should be, where is the weirdest place you found inspiration, maybe, rather than writing?
I think not to undermine your earlier question, because I think it's a great question, and just to kind of go back to that, actually, if I may, your co-hosting questions. I mean, right now you're vying for Leslie's spot right now. I'm just saying these questions.
Sorry, Leslie.
I mean, Leslie's, you'll never be Leslie. Let's be honest. Leslie's just, she's a queen. She's a goddess. But I covered all my bases there. That was pretty good. So, the weirdest place that I've ever the napkin thing, I do remember. It's kind of, you said before cell phones, and that's kind of true, because it's kind of the delineation of the demarcation there of, well, do you remember when Netflix sent videos to your house? There is like a I remember having to write, being at work. I was bartending in Beverly Hills and being at work, and I only had the bar napkins to write on, so I had same thing for sure. For sure. In general, I'm much more like I don't really have those like moments. It's a lot more like I have these general thoughts and stuff that I know I want to work on, and then what I'll do is I'll take the pup that you saw earlier. We'll go for a walk in the woods, and then I will work through things like a puzzle. So it's a lot more on my end, and everyone has a different thing, but on my end it's a lot more intentional, where I'm like, okay, I know I have A, C, and F, and I gotta figure out how to get B and D and E in there, because it's not, the walks for sure, the big helps. But the inspiration thing, isn't it funny when do you guys have the thing where you'll hear something and then it's like, I think people refer to it as the click, right? Like it clicks into place in your brain, but there's something, there's something where, like, for some people the smell of rose just takes them away, right? I don't really care for it, but the smell of oh my god, I just saw them today, the little white flower, jasmine. The smell of jasmine, to me, it lights up all the synapses in my brain. And there'll be things like that where all of a sudden something, people could straight up be talking about the most incredible thing, and I'll be like, all right, that's cool, and then someone will be like, they plant bodies in planters now, and your ashes can grow a tree, and I'll be like, say more. And that's the second issue of Seance Room. It was something kind of akin to that, because I'd heard about that, or like I heard the story about this nursing home where the cats can kind of tell when people are going to die, and they go into the room, and something about that. And I'm sure a much smarter person than me could figure out maybe the through line there. But something like those stories, all of a sudden I go, there's that's something interesting, right? Like let's get behind that. So that's kind of my bit. Like, do you guys have that same feeling sometimes where you'll hear something and just like I said with the jasmine smell, like everything just lights up?
For me,
I mean, I can do.
Go ahead.
You first.
I was gonna say, for me, it's not smells; it's words that trigger things. Like what you just said made me think of amusement parks. Amusement parks are in one of the places where people dump ashes all the time because it's like the happiest place. Yeah, and then they vacuum them up.
Yeah.
So that would actually be a good horror kind of story as well.
That's
being trapped in there.
Trapped in the
that'd be amazing.
Yeah, of an amusement park vacuum.
Yeah, like in some 16-year-old kid from, lower Southern California is just like texting people next to you in your eternal resting place.
And not to mention, it's like all these different ashes from all these different people. Like, is there like a bunch of people in a vacuum, or do they become like a split personality?
They slowly evolve to be a living wall. Roll for initiative.
Yeah, and you think you're like in the ether or the nether or wherever that is, the nexus, and all of a sudden you have a memory that's not yours, and you're like, oh, that's Alan's. They sucked him up Wednesday, and like it all mixes together, and you start to lose track of your own actual whatever humanity you were holding on to from
it's kind of like. Yeah, like a split personality. You can have like, a child and a serial killer.
Yeah. That's pretty rad, actually.
That's a great concept. Now my brain's doing that snap. See, with me,
Ralph,
what I was
that's
gonna
just
say,
Jack the Ripper from Fate.
With me, what I was gonna say was that it's this. I start seeing scenes. Like you're talking now, and already my brain's already going. Okay, so picture this: Sicily, 1945. It forms into this 3D image in my head, and that's what I start to see, and then I have to figure out how to get this concept written down so I can get it the way I see it. Sometimes it's easier than others because you're trying to capture like a 3D image in words.
Yeah. Well, that's the trick of writing, right? Like trying to convey something that doesn't have any right being written down. Like it's supposed to be ephemeral. That's the point of existence. And then we're all cocky enough to go, I could take that. I could disseminate that and make it palatable for people. I could do that. It's it is funny because I don't know if you guys ever get this, but where people go, oh man, I wish I could write. And I'm like, what do you mean you wish you could? It's like words. We all speak English, like, or whatever language. It doesn't matter. But I think the truth is that is a case where some people don't know how to take the step back and go, well, I can experience this, but I can also, if I needed to, put words to it, the experience, to portray it and try to light up the part that says, oh, ashes, and try to light those things up. And there's an anticipatory element to writing too, where you're trying to say, all right, I know I can experience this, but can I light those lights up in your brain? That there, it's a bit of a challenge. It's fun, I think certainly.
It is.
That's why we do it. Otherwise, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess no. Let me backtrack. It's not why it's why we try to. For me, anyway, I don't mean to speak for everyone. Commoditize it because I feel that I really like doing it. So I think that I should do it and get paid for it because it's it's something that I really think that I'm pretty good at. And that sounds cocky, but like at the end of the day, that's what it is, right? Otherwise, I would just do it for myself. Like I play guitar, I do that for myself. I'm not asking anyone to pay for my guitar playing. We all. I think we all have that, and that's why the four of us are here right now, and certainly how we all met through the the access point, the conduit of the Apple and the Apple crew. Is we all did something about us, man. We all got that light that lights up when we. Do you guys see the world? I feel like sometimes too, it's a little bit like seeing it 3 inches behind your face, where you're experiencing it, but you're also cataloging at the exact same time.
Yeah.
In which regard?
With regard. Ooh.
No, in which regard?
Oh, in which I was like, with regard. I like that as a saying actually, because I was like, ooh, living
regard.
with regard, living.
I mean, I think a lot of writers are observers, though.
Yeah.
Somewhat detached, I guess, to a degree.
It is. Yeah, there is a detached feeling. It's weird. I think.
Oh man, how detached am I?
Well, we all. It's the sliding scale.
I mean, you're hiding from us.
I don't have a camera in general. That's why I don't have a face.
That's great. It's so funny that you. I was gonna say it's so funny that you say that, because I like a lot. My writing style tends to be very noir, and I tend to talk through the character a lot of the times, or I'll tell the story through the character, because I just feel like, well, hi, I'm so and so. Probably wondering to yourself, what's going on here, and it's the flow that's going on in my brain in the first place. So it's how you're saying, I'm constantly seeing life, and as writers, the ear's always open, and I know a lot of people go, You're eavesdropping. I'm like, no, it's just that. It's just that you sit there, and you're able to pick up these conversations. You're able to pick up these things that are happening that nobody else seems to be even paying attention to.
Yeah, the thing that I do a lot, which is probably not good, is I'll be listening to those conversations, and I will be almost like a tree, trying to trace, like, reverse engineer the relationship, and try to understand, if someone's saying something like, what's the actual intention? What are they actually trying to convey to this human? Based on, and I'm always thinking about like the power dynamic too, of like who's on top, who's in control, who's not in control. I'm thinking about what is this person actively trying to achieve? Are they trying to sell another human on something? Are they trying to establish it? Again, it's a dominance thing. It's a lot of like it's all. In a lot of ways, like a lot of our interactions are power dynamics. Like even this, not like not to pick this apart, but like even this, like we're all being very respectful of each other, but also having our say of things, and trying to at least establish that thing that we're like, yep, this is why I belong here, but also giving the credence to all of you that you belong here too, and it's a dynamic that's unspoken, but we're doing it. And I think about those things all of the time. Like probably
Benny, Bo, Benny, Phantasmo, Fenny.
Well,
I'm here. I'm here because there's other people who aren't here, and I'm the only one who's entirely free every single day of the week. That's why I'm here.
You're selling yourself short here. I'm sure he would have you on here.
No, it's completely true. It's the whole reason why I'm here in the first place. 7 weeks score in a row. Let's go.
Hey, listen, sometimes you can't fight destiny, my man.
Oh, trust me, I know.
But yeah, I mean, those I think about like that things a lot. Like the thing that comes to my mind all the time is, as a species, we've only had language, written or verbal, for relatively short compared to our existence, right? So there are so many communications happening in a split second in those things, and I love parsing through them, and then that kind of gets me excited too, from a writer, that detached thing that you're saying. But then Cadma earlier, when she was typing, she said the thing where she does it to connect. Which is that's sort of on the other end of that too, right? Where it's, there's so many, but that's the intention. That's the,
Well, I think a lot of writers want to be loved to some degree, if that sounds weird. You want everyone to kind of like understand you, get you through your writing. So there, it's detached, but you want to be loved at the same time. It's like, come here, leave me alone. And
that sounds like me all my life.
It's kind of like how, you know, how cats are, but that's kind of like how our books are.
Well, they say I'm a cat.
When you said that, I was like, it is, a lot of writers have cats, and there's probably a good reason for that. That's
Yeah.
I have lizards.
Just how defeated you were when you said that for some reason.
It's like, I have a lizard.
Would you like us to try to pick that apart for you?
Do they have tiny violins?
No.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
We all have fun here. Don't worry about it.
I like to imagine they're chameleons, though, and the violins change color with them.
See, here we go. Story ideas.
I feel like you have like a cool setup for them.
He does.
Yeah. Most of them are now at Shanique's place now, though. So shout out Floofschmello, who's still listening in the chat right now. Go check her out on Instagram and Twitter. Go give her a follow at Floofschmello. Floof SH Smollo.
I'm from New England. We love a peanut butter and Floofschmello sandwich.
Yo, let's go.
Do you not know the thing about Fluffmellow?
I'm familiar with it because I know some people from Boston.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that you don't realize aren't national things until you leave your home state, and Fluffnutter is one of those things. It's a marshmallow like cream. Stop talking.
Stop taking credit for my babies.
Listen, it's a way to segment in order to promote you and your stuff.
Exactly. But yeah, Fluffnutter, look it up. It's more delicious than what it sounds like, and it's great with peanut butter.
Is it vegan?
I don't know. Probably not.
It could be.
A lot of marshmallows have gelatin in it, and I'm a vegetarian, so I can't really eat a lot of marshmallow stuffs unless it's made with like fruit pectin, and it's you have to get like these custom marshmallows, and it's a pain in the butt.
But it's so funny because marshmallow comes from a plant, so it bugs me out that we don't have the marshmallows that come from the plant.
Yeah, it's made with like the gelatin, which is like, you know, horse. So it sucks because like, you know, hot chocolate.
But the marshmallow that comes from the plant is actually good for you.
Yeah. No, I just don't think horsefoot pillows was as marketable.
Listen, horse is delicious though. Just because you don't think about it all the time doesn't mean it's not good. There's a bunch of animals that are really tasty.
Like the Doritos have like pork in it.
Wait, what does?
The Doritos, like the red ones. I think they have like pork fat in them.
Huh.
So many things have like animal products in it. Like if you look at them and you're like, what?
Yeah, I'm like, wait, what? Why does this have what?
Pop-Tarts, the frosting.
On a totally tangent here. My fiance turned me on to. Oh no, I was. No. I'm joining this.
Okay.
He's joining the tangent.
I was gonna say, which way are we going now?
Yeah. And my fiance turned me on to the idea that like all the stuff that's in the food that doesn't need to be in the food, and it's like she's incredible. She can look at the back of an ingredient list and be like, that's a plastic byproduct, that's a oil byproduct, and it's like all that stuff that just doesn't need to be there, and it's really opened my mind up. And yeah, the marshmallow, I did know that marshmallows, the gelatin in general is made from hooves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that I had to learn because too many things have nuts, and I will die.
Terrifying
nuts.
And you'll be surprised how many things actually have nuts that don't need nuts.
Yeah.
Specifically, bagels and breads that have nuts and cereals.
Yeah.
Terrifying. That is actively. I'm sorry that you have to live so cautiously. That is a bummer, man. But you obviously seem to be doing all right with it.
You'll be surprised how many chocolates I can't eat.
Nat has the gloves on when we go to the conventions because he doesn't like taking that risk.
You never. dude. And like you literally, I mean, because I'm guilty, man. I'll be at the shows and just trying to get some food in me. I have a bag of peanuts that I'll just munch on. So
you're not alone. Don't worry, you're not alone.
Also, horse hooves. I will have a bag of horse hooves that I will just dig into. And
I usually do fruit snacks.
Which ones?
I usually do fruit snacks at the cons. I'll just sit there and eat tons of fruit snacks all day. It's not the best thing.
It would be very interesting to see like the what do people have at the convention. That would be a funny video to see. What do you
That'd
eat?
be an interesting video
at the conventions. Yeah.
My majority is going to be cashews and like the trail mix, and then the next half is going to be the Nature Valley bars. I've done this subconsciously already to people. And then after those, you have either Starbucks or McDonald's coffee, depending on which one's closer. Oh, there goes Ben. I'm starting calling him out too much.
You offended him with your Starbucks coffee.
I'm telling the truth.
I went to this one con where you can get like unlimited soda for like $20. It was for 3 days. And I'm like, I'm getting all the soda that I can. I must have had over 20 sodas in 3 days, which is the most that I've ever had in my life. But you know what? I got my money's worth.
We got I don't know if you know Wild Bill's. You know, they sell the huge cups with the soda, and you get the free refills.
That's what I was doing.
Oh yeah, no, see, I had a feeling that's what you're talking about. We love Wild Bill's. We like going in there with our free cups and getting our free sodas and drinking all. Hello, Ben.
Do you like Wild Bill's, Ben? Or Benny Bo Benny Fensana?
Just say
thank you. Thank you. Feel seen. Wild Bills. I try to stay away from sugar as much as possible, if I can help it. So the Wild Bills has a seltzer switch.
Really
so that to me that's a game changer, because I've been the free of the alcohol for about 2 years now, and the seltzer was like the main thing that helped me. And to this day, seltzer's it's that dumb thing where as an adult you're like, this is a treat. Seltzer's a treat. It's bubbling.
That is so sad, but you're so right. I'm like, you know, before when I was younger, I'd be like, ew, seltzer. Now I'm like, oh, seltzer.
Yeah. Well, and so like I'll do the Wild Bill, I'll do the seltzer with a splash, like just a flavor splash of whatever flavor of the thing. And that to me is, I'll drink enough of that to justify the cost of it or whatever. But oh my God, yeah, the Wild Bills thing. I know some people who have a real stuck in the craw for the Wild Bills thing.
They're great.
Yeah, we got Lou onto that.
Yeah. Yeah, Lou was like, oh, what's this? And then Matt bought him a cup, and he was here. You want some more soda? You want some more soda?
Come on,
now he's actually wearing full cowboy garb. He's like,
at Cradle Con, he was the only one of us who still had his cup. So with them being downstairs, we were walking back and forth, just giving him the cup because he just stayed at his booth.
Yeah,
we love you.
Shadow, when he's working, he's really working, and people like his little figures, so he's the man.
Well, that's it too, right? Is like, you know, you gotta get whatever you can get when you can get it. And I was just at Bangor Comic Con up in Maine there, and it was right next to us. So I mean, I was, you know, you're talking like we're doing now, right? You're talking, and you get the chapped lips and the throat, and it's like having that right next to you is great. But again, as long as you can have the self-control not to just constantly, you know, down the hatch with sugar, yeah.
But you know, when you're in the convention, you know, it's all about the convention food, which is too costly, first of all, and then, you know, it's not exactly the most healthiest thing in the world.
Hey, we got Anime NYC, man.
I always like to bring
good food at anime.
I like to bring a person with me and make them go get the food. I'm like, I'll pay for your food if you go get me something good.
It's great.
You get stuck at that table.
No joke, at this point, like after doing cons for something like 6 years, the majority of the conversation we talk about, it's like, you know, because is it a good show? Do you make money? It's like that's pretty irrelevant. Like it changes year to year, you know. It's so, you know, you could make money at one year and not make money to the. But the thing that always it's evergreen is what's the food like at the show? You know, like I'll tell you, like the Philadelphia convention's one of the best because it's right next to that famous market. That with all the Dutch and the you know and it's incredible. Like you can wake up and grab food and go right to the convention. It's like perfect, right? Versus like Awesome Con in DC is probably one of the worst. There's nothing there, and the convention's so big that even getting out to get to the options that are not.
Well, that's like being in New York Comic Con. By the time you get outside, well, it's not even that. This food is closer now, but by the time you get to
no, they still removed all of them.
Yeah. But I'll say that if New York Comic Con has the gem, the hidden gem, which I shouldn't give out, right? But the hidden gem is when you leave the show, you're on the street, go to the left, 1 block down, there's that marketplace that has, I mean, everything you can want, and it's fairly inexpensive. It's like called something or whatever, and it's like that's the one that you'll always see the same people like, hey, yeah. We, you know, like that, like we're in the know, you know, like if you're wearing that really cool band T-shirt and another guy gets it, he's like, you know.
I know what you're talking about. Okay.
You know what Con at the Javits does has good food selection? Anime NYC. Was that not good food this year, Rob?
I gotta admit,
that not bad?
We were at Anime NYC. They actually had food from
restaurants.
Japan. They had food from Korea. They had food from. And it was good. It was good food, and it was in the convention center.
And it was actually not insane pricing.
Well, I think it's the misnomer that like comic nerds are all basement dwellers who will just eat fried things, right? Like I think a lot of us, you're vegan. You're vegan, yes?
Vegetarian, but like I eat a lot of vegan stuff too.
You know, and it's like that. It's just I don't think it's an accurate portrayal of, but I think a lot of conventions still abide by that. Like just give them the fried chicken strips, like they don't care, you know.
It's honestly hard to find food at some of these events. It's like, all right, French fries, chicken fingers, hamburgers, hot dogs, you know. I'm like, I guess I'll eat French fries for the 3rd time today because you know there's nothing filling. And
that's pretty much how it is.
That like when I plan my event, I try to get all different types of stuff because like I know what it's like to be kind of, I'm not starving, but like hungry, you know, and getting a little hangry at the same time. And so like I always say to people, food's one of the most important things of an event.
Oh yeah. I mean, I grab a grabby bag before I even get to the convention. I always bring like a bag of stuff because especially the first day, oh my god, you never know. And then it's weird too because then like so Boston Comic Con, if you guys ever been to the convention center in Boston,
no.
It's the hell out of the way of anything. And like the PAX East does have good food. Boston Comic Con does not, but it's at the exact same location. So it's
That's
like
funny.
Again, this is the conversation that most of us are having now. It's not like, yeah, bro, did you see?
I know the conversation because I've actually seen it a couple of times. It's like, dude, when we were in Anime NYC and they had the actual good food, it was like people were sitting there going,
do we want to wait on the line or do we want to go try the newer booth that's down that just opened today? I don't know, man. How long's the line? It's a 40-minute wait. Oh, try the new one. What do they have? They have Thai bonds.
I think besides food, the other thing is when there's celebrities at these events, most of the people are going there, getting their autographs, spending like, hundreds of dollars getting the autographs. They're not going to the vendors. And it's like, are these people, so many big name people, am I going to make money? Is my stuff going to get noticed? And I think that's the other thing that you kind of look at.
Now, that is one of the things to look at because I've seen it happen in a bunch of conventions. Even when they try to make the people flow through or flow back, if you're spending that much money, you're not going to probably have enough money for everybody else.
Well, yeah, and also you guys know because you're at the table and you're like, hey, what's going on? Can I show you? And the look of No, hey, sorry, no, we're just going to the. We're going...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or when they have like professional wrestling and it's near the vendors and they'll be like slamming and you're trying to talk about the books or whatever.
We had a DJ in front of us at the Miami show. The whole time just going,
wow.
It's about this guy who in America there's ghosts, and I'm sorry, I'm losing my.
Oh, I always hate that. We were at a convention and we were doing something for the convention, and the whole time I'm like, whoo, and then by the end of the convention I'm like,
I think I remember that con.
Yeah, you remember that. I lost my voice by the end of it. I was like, oh.
Yeah. I was so glad I wasn't doing interviews at that convention.
Also, do you guys remember your first show back after pandemic? I had that.
Yes.
Where it was like it wasn't in shape yet.
That was another thing. You're right. Like it was walking through the convention. Like after it was like the normal stuff made you lose your voice because it'd been so long that you did it, and also judging the crowd sounds because well, after a while you get used to them, and you don't have to do that adjusting. But like as you came back from the convention, you're like,
well, Ralph, you kind of forget I was the exact opposite because all throughout the pandemic I was working in exactly crowd control, so I got better voice through that. I was the team member with the clearest voice.
So you were one of those guys who made that's the lemonade out of lemons right there, my man. You had a nice silver lining of your pandemic there.
Oh yeah, no, the pandemic was actually pretty good for me.
Yeah.
As harsh as that might sound, it was actually very good for me.
I want
lucky.
That out of context. I want people to just go crazy with that clip. Oh, the pandemic was pretty good for me.
I mean, I lost my job during the pandemic, and it took me 3 months to get unemployment. It was tough. I was down to $75 in my bank account because 3 months without any money coming in.
Well, this is where it's like it depended so much on the state you were in too at that point, right? Like Massachusetts might be expensive as hell to live in, cold as hell, but our societal infrastructure support system is terrific. And it's like, again, we pay, they call it Taxachusetts for a reason, right? Like, but in those times of need, it was, so it does come down to the state. I didn't realize that New Jersey was kind of a pain, it sounds like.
Yeah.
New Jersey taxes you a lot and doesn't really give you anything.
Oh, that's
they really don't. It's because they have these antiquated computer systems a lot of times and programs.
Yeah.
And then instead of getting new ones, they just kind of layer stuff on a lot of times, and it just things never work right. I can complain about government all the time. I'm not a big fan of it.
Really? So many people like it so much.
I'm one of those people that think taxation is theft. So
it's certainly when it doesn't get put to. I mean, that's this might just be the pride of the hometown talking, but like again, Massachusetts, they've. I mean, I'm sure people can point to 100 ways where you're like, Goldsmith, you're wrong. You big stupid Tom Brady loving asshole. Like. It's,
I like Tom Brady. He's good to look at.
He is good to look at, right? Actually, I saw my fiance showed me something the other day that was just the funniest thing. It was like Tom Brady his rookie year and then last year, and it was like, you're not ugly, you're just poor. Because if you look at Tom Brady,
I saw that one.
You just see
that was an interesting meme. I was like, wow.
Well, look at Kylie Jenner or whatever her name is.
Right.
When she was in high school versus now. I'm like, that's a lot of plastic surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not ugly. You're just poor. That's
No, still ugly. I see no change, just ugly.
Well, her soul's ugly,
but
that's a different story.
While we were talking, which is good. You're up to 2,315, 34 backers.
All right.
You still got 28 days to go. You need to get to 10,000. So we need to get the this to 10,000. It is a great book. I'm telling you guys, it's a great series. Like you heard the combination of things here. You like Twilight Zone, you like this. You like all those old shows that had all that great spooky stuff. This is that same kind of stuff.
If you like Kylie Jenner's plastic surgery, you will love
exactly.
And
if you
that's
don't
not a
like
very
Kylie,
good promotion.
all right, here's a good one. All right, if he doesn't get to 10,000, he's gonna have to start an OnlyFans page to get the money. You don't want
Okay,
that,
so
do
we
you?
definitely should not support it.
for my
Oh, awkward.
Full Jeff Goldblum, man. Yeah, well, for the last when I did a Kickstarter before, I started doing posts from my shower, and those
I forgot about those.
Yeah, I might have to start doing that again because
I completely forgot about those.
Listen, man. I got a size 15 foot. I can just do the feet only stuff, man. I'm sure someone will dig that.
Yo,
There's a
your
fetish for everyone.
Wiki Feet page will be huge.
Wiki Feet. I forgot.
I could start one for you.
Is that really a thing?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I have to look at this up.
No, don't.
Oh,
Don't do
okay.
it. Don't scar you.
Okay, I won't.
It'll scar you.
Unless you're
Oh
a
my
big
God.
wrestler fan, don't do it.
Okay, I won't.
You guys are gonna kill me.
It's so this to say, people, please back it because the options are very limited otherwise.
It's a
Hey,
great
they're
series. You won't regret it. It still has a lot of days to go, so
I will.
who knows? We might have Ben back on just to hang out and chill.
Yeah, I will.
Who's
real quick, I'll
Ben?
just
We
tell-
got Benny Bo Benny Fenny Banana Fa Fo Fenny.
the only
Who's
person
Ben?
who respects my truly given name.
You're welcome.
And that dog. That dog is trying to say
Sorry.
my
I was gonna say the dog sounds like he's arguing that he's doing his thing.
My neighbor has their dog out, so it's causing my dog to lose his mind.
Oh, I just thought he was a big fan.
It is.
Yeah, I'll give you the quick just so everyone knows like what you're getting. It's 4 new issues. And then, like I said, there's a hack slash crossover, which is incredible. Ben Templesmith, Alex Cormick of Road of Bones, Sea of Sorrows fame, is doing some of the art. The Drew Rausch, who does art that's like the Beetlejuice cartoon, he's doing an issue for me, and it's one of my favorites where it's these kids go to the Seance Room thinking it's a haunted house, and then when they get in, everything that they encounter is an actual thing, like a real fear. Like a kid gets told they have cancer and has to go through like chemo, and then another kid goes through a hall of their failures made reality through wax figures. Like there's a wax figure of the first time he watched his old high school football game. There's his getting his divorce papers. So it's like it was just playing on the idea of the fun we have with scares versus the reality of that, and then kind of deconstructing it, but then doing it with this the Beetlejuice cartoon style of animation really sort of, to me, juxtaposes that point exactly, or actually maybe emboldens that point while also juxtaposing your expectation of what the art would look like with something like that. So it's it's a great book, and I need some help, guys. I'm a big enough man to admit that I need some help.
There you go. So let's help Ben out. I put the link into the chat so you guys can find it a little easier. And of course, I'm a big fan of the Seance Room, so I'm going to be there supporting all the way. And we are at the mark, a little bit over the mark, actually.
There is
that tells you how much fun we've been having.
There is no mark. There has never been a mark.
There is a mark. We're supposed to stop at the hour mark.
There is no
we go to the hour
thing as
15
a
mark all the time.
Do you get a bad outro too?
Who?
Well, you gave him a bad intro. Do you give him a bad outro too?
No, I'm the one who ends up giving the good outro. I give all the promotions on all the other shows, on what's going on. Sometimes I usually remind Ralph that we have other Kickstarters that we need to promote because a couple of them only have a few days left.
Maybe you should give him a good outro for once. I think he needs it.
Well, Nat, go do your thing. Go ahead.
Which do we do first? Are we gonna do the shows, or are we gonna do the other Kickstarters?
I don't know. When you start. She gave you the outro. Go for it.
All right. Well, let's start with our dear friend Bitsy, who has 8 days left on her Kickstarter. You got that up, Ralph? Or
Yeah,
do
keep
you...
talking.
Okay.
Go,
just pop it
Bitsy.
up.
You can do it.
Yeah.
She is currently at 1,500 out of a $4,000 goal. Come on. If you don't know what Maiden in Disguise is, basically it's a bunch of short comic sketches from her main series put into a brief animation. And it's really cute, lots of fun. We're going to play the video, Ralph, or are we just going to talk about it?
Yeah, that's because I can't kick your ass from up here, short stack.
Hey!
Tell me what it's like going to school with Elrind Agronov.
Huh? Oh, what? The camera is rolling already, but stop. I'm not ready yet.
Excuse me, I'll go first. William McWilliams, leader of the AV Club, at your service. Here, take my card.
No comment.
It's really him! OMG, I love you, Elrin!
Elrin? Oh, you mean Ellie, don't you? Well, I would tell you, but it's a secret.
Hello, friends and strangers alike. I'm Bitsy Tandem, CEO of EOTerra Entertainment and founder of Isekai Production Studios. Today we are here to make some midbits. For those of you who have already been acquainted with Maiden in Disguise, you probably already know what midbits are. But if you're new here, welcome, join us, and let me tell you a little bit about it. Midbits are fun, miniaturized side stories following the characters we already know and love outside of the main plot of the comic book. These comedic sketches and skits are far more than just bloopers. They're filler episodes that you actually want to see. And speaking of episodes, you probably noticed that we're taking our very first jump into animation. We're taking what used to be just 4-panel comics and transforming them into fully animated shorts, including snippets of writing and all kinds of other world building along the way. We have 10 amazing guest artists joining us, as well as our amazing animator and wonderful voice actors. I hope you can check them all out in the description. And if you want your summer to be full of EOTerra shenanigans, go ahead and pick out a reward tier, and we'll see you on the other side. Yeah.
Ta-da!
I think
Too
Benny's
cute.
stuff would be good a lot, as a cartoon or even like a
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, that's the
I think
Kickstarter.
the same thing, yeah. If any,
He left us again
He's been dragged back.
in the Seance Room.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the problem with being in the Seance Room.
Once they have the taste of your blood, they just
Bring
keep
you
coming
back
back.
in.
There
I
you
think
go.
it's more of his personality rather than his blood.
You know what's funny? Ben is probably frozen. I was going to say that. Ben's probably frozen. Doesn't even know it. All right, so go ahead and continue, Nathan.
Alrighty, so don't forget to support Bitsy with the few days she got left, but also another person who has a few days left, our friend Nomnivore, with their game Dungeons and Dinos, has a few days left with their Kickstarter. They have reached their goal, but every little bit helps, keeps them going. 3 days left to go, I believe they'll be on Wednesday.
Yeah, well, we have a special show on Wednesday at 9 o'clock Eastern time.
We're doing
we'll
another
off the Kickstarter. So yeah, they'll be on 9 o'clock on Wednesday on the written writ for a special edition of the written writ. And then we have a regular written writ at 11:30 p.m. The late write, of course, where Christina's going to be with us as guest commentator, and we're going to be talking to the guys from Project Gnosis who are actually going to be at Arts in the Park on Saturday. That's a lot of words.
You did it exceptionally well.
Thank you.
And then that brought Ben back. So what exactly is your favorite hot dog?
Ooh. Huh.
Oh, he's not talking.
I think lately I've been liking the spicy hot dogs, the sausages.
Oh, he's gone again. He couldn't handle the question.
It's almost as bad as the wiki feet, right?
Yeah, exactly. All right, so Dinos and Dungeons and Dinos. We'll talk more to Nomnivore on Wednesday at 9 p.m. for a special edition of the Written Writ.
Righty, and then lastly we have Tragedy that it's not coming up to the end, but it has a few days left.
Oh, it still has a lot of days left. It's I think
it's
20
14.
days till before it ends. It's doing
17,
pretty well, actually.
Yeah. Also funded.
Yeah, they have funded, and they're closing in at 10,000, which is where he's trying to get to now.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit more on that while I do this thing over here.
If you need Tragedy, I have Tragedy up.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, here. Sent it to you. Tragedy. What can I say about Tragedy? Well, in a city run by gangs, the elite assassins do the dirty work, utilizing their unique abilities as their past finally begins its stranglehold upon their future. Yay!
Yep, and there goes Tragedy. It's an amazing book. It has beautiful art, breathtaking art, actually. The covers are fantastic. The art inside is incredible. The story itself, it's a very well-written story that, you'll find hard to find in other places, I'm guessing. As you can see a little bit here from the panels, they're just beautiful. But I have to tell you, these covers for Tragedy are amazing, and they actually have now one-shot covers like this one in the tiers, so you can actually get this original art as part of your tier buying pleasure. But yeah, as you can see, the covers are just breathtakingly beautiful.
And if you just want the covers, there is a cover-only version, which is a book made of only the covers, which Ralph has somewhere around.
Yeah.
They used to do that in the 90s with some of the Marvel comics.
Oh, yeah.
I have a few of those.
I used to love that stuff. They used to put those little books together. That's why when the guy from Tragedy did it, I was like, I'm getting that. And it kind of helps you out, too, because it's a lot of books to buy.
And he's just the guy from Tragedy now.
Sometimes you just want the artwork.
Exactly. So you got that option. It's there. You can pick up the Tragedy book. You got the catch-up feature. You can get 1, 2, and 3 to catch up. The covers are fantastic. You'll see. I just showed you a little sample of it. Go check out Tragedy. Support all these independents, because if we support the independents, we put the pressure on the big guys to change what they're doing, because they will change things if they see other people making money.
People care a lot about their money.
Exactly. All right, Christina.
Wait, you got one more. You got one more.
I got one more?
Cthulhu Jr.
Oh, Cthulhu Jr. Dirk Manning.
Which also has 17 days left.
Yeah. Yep, 17 days.
Yep. Don't worry, I got this covered, Ralph. You Trust me, bro. Trust me.
Go for it.
A cute little adventure of a dark magician who's trying to capture the son of Cthulhu in order to be admitted into the League of Evil.
That's cute.
Yeah, it is. It's really cute.
It's very cute. One of their tiers has a life-size Cthulhu plushie so that you can just carry one around with you, and maybe you might be admitted to the League of Evil.
Look at that plushie, man. Ah.
But also, if you reach a certain tier, he will release the specialty recipe for Ranger cookies made by his grandmother.
Bribing us with cookies.
Yes, it actually is.
A great bribe, right? Here we go, the cookies. Homemade Ranger cookies.
If his grandma made me the cookies, I'll back it.
Well, I think his grandma's not here anymore.
Yeah, that's gonna be kind of hard.
He's the one that has the recipes now.
We would need Mr. Benny to rejoin and meant to Seance in order to do that, but
I think he might be gone for good.
He's probably like I think it was that question about hot dogs. You just sent him over the edge.
You sent them running, bro. All right, yeah, Ben's having trouble. His phone is wonky. Sorry, man. He apologizes to everybody. Yeah, it happens. This is a problem with live TV.
Do not worry.
There you have it. Cthulhu Jr. I still said it.
Cthulhu Jr.
Cthulhu.
And it's not Cthulhu Jr. Is The Adventures of Cthulhu Jr.
Yeah. Cthulhu Jr. All right, Christina.
All righty.
What's the last word? Talk about your show on Saturday, and we have more time with us on Wednesday, but let them know what's going on.
So Arts in the Park is a big free event in Randolph, New Jersey at Veterans Community Park. There's over 90 crafters, 40 artists, 7 food trucks, entertainment throughout the day, archery tag for the kids that's free. I know it's like a county local event, but it's free for the community. So if you're in New Jersey, or even if you're in New York, you can come on over and experience this event. We're thinking maybe like 3,000 to 5,000 people will show up. The food's great. I made sure we had some good food vendors because, we've all been to places where it wasn't good. They're really good. I'm going to probably get something from Waffles and Dreams. They have these amazing waffles. I'm like, oh my God. But there's
waffle from them.
Well, I think they're all good, but like, I like the ones with the sprinkles on it. Then there's Latin Bites. We have Arctic Dog. We have a lot of good food vendors.
You really got a lot of good food. Yeah.
Yeah. Woo. Like, that's like one of that's actually like the first thing I book when I have an event. It's like the food, get the food. But we have like glass blowing, we have blacksmiths, wood carving, a drum circle, a big Mirrorman show. They're from New York City, actually. They're covered in mirrors and they're shooting CO2 guns. So that's going to be a lot of fun. That's the big finale of the event. We have NGXB. He has over 1 million Instagram followers. He's going to be the MC for the events. He's really talented. He's from Central Jersey, and I'm honored to have him at the events. He's a really great guy. So you got to come to this event if you're in the area.
There you heard it. You heard it from Ben as well. You guys got to be there at Arts in the Park because it looks like it's going to be a fantastic event. It looks like Christine has done an excellent job at getting everything together. And as you heard earlier in our show, food at one of these conventions is an important thing. And you want to have good food as you enjoy the convention. And it sounds like you're going to have good food and enjoy a convention. Yep. With that, I guess we will do what I don't do on my show and give you guys a nice outro.
If it works.
Adios, amigos.